The next question says, when firms have an incentive to exit a competitive market, their exit will A, drive down market prices, B, drive down profits of existing firms in the market, C, decrease the quantity of goods supplied in the market, or D, all the above are correct. We can test this really quickly in a market graph. So we have supply curve, demand curve. If some firm is leaving the market, what that means is that supply is shifting to the left by a certain degree. And what that means is that price goes up and quantity supplied goes down. So which one of these answer choices fits this prediction? A says that market prices will be driven down. We see that they would be driven up. B says that profits of existing firms will go down. It's unclear if that's going to happen. It doesn't seem to be the case that that would happen because the price is going up, so firms are actually earning more money per good. C says decrease the quantity of goods supplied in the market, and that is true, right? The quantity supplied in the market has definitely gone down, so C seems to be a good answer. D says all of the above, but we already said A and B are wrong, so C is a good answer for 11. Let's go to answer choice C, and they said C is correct. This is because when firms exit the industry, supply would reduce, and hence the quantity supplied to the market would fall. Okay, the next question says, in question 12, if a perfectly competitive firm currently produces where price is greater than marginal cost, then it A, will increase its profits by producing more. B, will increase its profits by producing less. C, is making positive economic profits, or D, is making negative economic profits. And so in this case, what we're dealing with is profit maximization. And we know for the perfectly competitive firm that profit is maximized where P is equal to MC, right? Price is equal to marginal cost. So if you're in a situation where price is greater than marginal cost, I mean, you still have basically revenue that you could be making that you are not really making, you're not yet making, right? And so that would be inefficient. And so in order to increase profits, you would continue to produce more of the goods because you know that there's still positive marginal profit to be made at higher levels of production. And so that best matches with answer choice A, that if a perfectly competitive firm is currently producing where price is greater than marginal cost, it will increase its profits by producing more. And the previous tutor also said A, when P is greater than MC, it'll be profitable for firms to produce more because the revenue is more than the cost. Firms will produce until P is equal to MC. Great. 13. Does the consumer's well-being vary along a demand curve? A, yes. When price increases, consumers move to a lower indifference curve. B, yes. When price increases, consumers move to a higher indifference curve. C, no. When prices increases, when price increases, consumers stay on the same indifference curve. Or D, when price increases, the higher price has no effect on budget constraints or indifference curves. Or E, none of the above. And so what we refer to in all these questions talking about indifference curves is this idea that there are ways in which we can measure the utility of a person, and that their ability to their utility is constant along all points of indifference curve. And so a higher or lower indifference curve would mean that you're moving to a higher utility or lower utility. And so the real question here is, is utility going to change based on a price change? And the answer to that is yes, right? If a price goes up, people's real income goes down and they're going to be able to buy less of a good. And so consumers move to a lower indifference curve when that happens. And so answer choice A seems to be a really good answer for what we're looking for here. Yes, when price increases, consumers move to a lower indifference curve. And the previous tutor also picked A. When the price of a good increases, the purchasing power of consumer falls, leaving him on a lower indifference curve and making him worse off. Great. 14. If a competitive firm sets its output such that marginal revenue, marginal cost, and average total cost are equal, then economic profit must be A, negative, B, positive, C, 0, or D, indeterminate from the given information. So in this sense, if you're in a competitive firm and marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost equal to average total cost, then your economic profit must be 0, right? Economic profit is revenue minus cost. And so if your marginal revenue and total costs are equal, then your economic profit is just 0. It cancels out. So C seems to be the best answer here, and the previous tutor also said C. And economic profits are those which include not only the monetary costs but also the opportunity costs, is the difference between the revenue and average total cost. And so in that sense, you would have zero economic profit. And finally, 15, which of the following is a characteristic of a perfectly competitive market? A, firms are price setters. B, there are few sellers in the market. C, firms can exit and enter a market freely. Or D, all of the above are correct. We know that from the previous question that there are 3 criteria. The first, that number 1, there are many firms and they are price takers. Number 2, that firms are producing identical goods. And number 3, that there are very easy or low barriers to entry and exit into the market. So C is going to be the right answer here. A and B are incorrect. So D would be incorrect. So C would be what we go with. In the the previous theory also said there are no barriers to entry or exit in the firms in perfect competition. So great answers here. And we're going to mark this as correct.